this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. And today our project is this little card here, Christmas card, using the Dashing Deer stamp set. I actually made this to enter into a challenge online, which was a sketch challenge. If you pop over to my blog, and the link will be to my blog, the right post down below, you can see the sketch that I needed to follow, and this was my attempt to do that. So I'm going to show you how to make it. Very cute with these two little deer. It's very pale. I'm not sure how well it shows up on camera though. Right, okay, let's put that there. Let's start with, oh gosh, I haven't even got a card blank ready. Let's get a card blank. Thought I had everything I needed. Here we go. Right, so my card blank is the usual size, half an A4 sheet, so 15 by 21, score it at 10.5, or 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, score at 4 1/8. I'm going to bring in my new trimmer, my gorgeous new trimmer that I'm using all the time at the moment. Decide on which way up it goes, that way. And I'm going to score this at 10.5. So I'm working in centimetres, but if you want to work in inches, that's fine. Right, so let's just get our card base and score, like so. And then you're going to need a bone folder to just burnish that fold. Make sure you've got it really straight and really nice and crisp, that fold. You can use other things instead of a bone folder, but a bone folder, I use it all the time. So if you haven't got one, I would invest in one because it will be the most useful tool for you. Right, okay, we're now going to make this panel that goes down here. And no, this is not DSP, this is a hand stamped cardstock. So I started off with a piece of very vanilla. It's going to end up being 4.5 centimetres wide and as long as the card. So on this one, 5 3/4 or 15 centimetres. Slightly longer than that because I want to be able to stick it on and then trim off the edges. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a bit of scrap paper, and I am going to stamp using one of the stamps from the Dashing Deer set, this little decorative border here. I'm just going to stamp that multiple times, but each time I stamp it, I'm going to stamp it off because I don't want it too dark. I'm using Sahara sand. Like I say, I'm going to stamp it off each time so that I don't get it too dark, and I'm just going to keep it as straight and as lined up as I can. It's always very difficult to see when I'm on camera because I can't get right over it. Oh, that's okay. Oh, that's a nice shade as well. I like that. And then again, just line it up like so, and just continue doing that. And mine is, like I said, mine is slightly wider, so we're going to have to trim a bit off. But just in case I did any stamping that went wrong, I thought it'd be better to have a little bit excess than to do it all exactly as we needed it. So I'm quite getting, I love this little border punch. It's very nice, very decorative. I'm trying to think of some other ways to use it actually, because I'd really like to use it more in my card making. So I'll have a think about that. Watch this space. There we go. And that's all the stamping I'm going to do, I think, on here. But while I've got my Sahara sand out, I'm going to take a scrap piece of Whisper White and I'm going to stamp the little deer. And on this one I stamped it off. On this one I'm not going to. I want the deer to be a bit darker this time, so I'm not going to stamp it off. Just going to stamp with Sahara sand. Yeah, I like that one better. And then I'm going to take one of the greetings from the set, which is happiest Christmas wishes, but I've cut mine apart because I didn't ever want them together. I didn't want them together, so I've cut them apart. So I've got happiest and Christmas wishes. So I'm just going to print those, stamp those on my piece of cardstock as well, and then they're going to get cut out in a minute. So there we go. And again, I'm not stamping off with these, I'm just stamping with pure ink. There we go. That's those. And while we're stamping, I might as well just bring in my smoky slate and do the other deer. So there we go. There's the other deer, slightly bigger. It's got antlers, this one. So just, there we go. And that's a bit darker than the one I did before as well, but I'm going for a darker look with this card, so I'm going to see which one I prefer. So I always like to change it up a little bit on the video. Right, so I'm going to trim my piece of cardstock down to 4.5 centimetres. Get rid of my strap. I've got a bit of an edge there, so I'd want to get rid of that where there's no stamping. So just bring it over to there, like so. And then I'm just going to turn it round and trim a tiny bit off here, just to take it down to 4.5 centimetres, which I think is 1 3/4 inches if you're interested in the imperial measurements. There we go, that's fine. That's great. Right, so now I'm going to come in with some Tombow and glue it to my card base. Put on my card base. I'm just going to run my bone folder along the edges. Sometimes you get a bit of an edge when you use the trimmer, so you can just smooth that out with a bone folder. So that's going to go on my cards. If you look at the original, it's going to go on about there. So I'm just going to take some Tombow. I'm again going to do this on scrap paper because I don't want to get glue on my grid paper. There we go. A little bit of Tombow, using the wide edge and spreading it out today. There we go. Don't need very much glue, you don't need to blob it on. That's, if anybody you've been watching me recently, that's still the same glue, so it's lasted, honestly it's gone on forever, that glue. There we go. And that's that. And oh no, it's moved. The beauty of the Tombow is that it can be moved, but also sometimes it moves when you don't want it to. Right, and again the bone folder to make sure those edges are really well glued down. And then just come in with some scissors and take off those. I'm using my big scissors here, I think. Just take off those overlapping edges. So there. And there we go. Right, so we've got the background for our card. We're now going to do the die cutting of the deer. So I've got my 2 deer here, and I've got the 2 dies that I need from the detailed deer set. So I'm going to line up my dies. So cutting side down, remember. Need the blade of the die facing downwards, and that's there. And I've just got 2 little bits of washi tape here that I'm going to use to glue it in place. You could use a magnetic panel, plate, but actually I prefer using tape. I use tape all the time, and I've got quite a supply of washi tape, and that's quite low tack, so you're not in danger of ruining your card or your shapes. Right, okay, so that's there. Just bring it out and bring my big shot in. Trusty old Big Shot. Probably unlike anything you've ever seen because it's so old, but hey ho, still does the job for me, so that's fine. Just push those through. Excellent. Get rid of my Big Shot. Now, before we do anything with the deer, we need to cut a vellum circle. So I've got a piece of vellum here and a 2-inch circle punch. I'm going to use a 2-inch circle punch to just punch out a piece of vellum. And then I can come back in with my deer, which have now been die cut. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the grey one. Tweezers, there we go. So some dimensionals on the back here, and then we're going to mount him onto the vellum circle. So that should be enough. I just need enough to hang him on. There we go. Like so. And he's going to go here on the vellum circle. So his antlers are just poking out a little bit at the top. Where's my original? Oh, here. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm happy with that. And then the other one, I'm only going to put dimensionals on his rear end because his head is going to be overlapping with the other deer, and I don't want that to be raised up even more. So just 2 little dimensionals there. It'll be enough to hold him in place. That's absolutely fine. And he's going to go there, I think. There we go. There. So 2 little deer. And then what you can do is you can come over, come back with some glue dots, which is going to be what we use to glue the vellum down, but they won't show because they'll be behind the deer. So that's a little tip. Whenever you're gluing vellum, you really need something on the front to hide whatever you're using to glue the vellum down, otherwise it shows. And so my tip is the deers on this one are going to hide it. So there we go. So where's my card? Here it is. And that's going to go, yeah, about there, I think. There we go. So that's the basis of our card. I've then got some little sprigs from the sprig punch. Now I can't punch them out for you because I don't have the sprig punch. I borrowed it off my friend Jez last year and punched out a few spares. So I've got a few spares to use this year, but I don't have the actual punch. Don't know why. I've never actually bought that punch. It's a really useful one, but I've never actually bought it. Oh gosh, the glue's coming out very quickly there. Let me smooth that out with a cocktail stick. Don't need too much glue on here. There we go. There we go. And that's going to go round here. And then I've cut one in half. Just got half of one here. Might just trim off that little bit there. There we go. And that's just going to go down here as well. It's actually going the other way to the one in my card, but I don't think it matters. There we go. Bring my cocktail stick, smooth that out. Don't want too much glue spreading out there. It's a bit tricky with Tombow to glue anything too delicate. Sometimes I use a cocktail stick. Sometimes I just go with the Tombow. There we go. And then all we've got left to do is the greetings. So actually I'm going to cut by, you can do this on your trimmer if you want to. I'm actually going to cut mine out by hand. They're very small. I think you can keep a straight line good enough with these. So I'm just going to come in with my scissors. If you want to, you can do this on the trimmer. Like I say, our new trimmer would be perfect because it will cut very, very thin little strips. But like I say, I tend to do it by hand because it's too fiddly for me to do it on the trimmer. There we go, happiest. And my happiest is going to go here, overlapping the back of the deer. So I'm just going to put dimensionals on the rear part of this, not on the front, because I want it to overlap the deer and I don't want that to be a double raised panel, like so. So there's the first part of my Christmas message, happiest. And then I'm going to cut out Christmas messages exactly the same way I did. You could do this with your snips. I actually find it easier with bigger scissors, I have to say. And these scissors are £1. They were £1. They might have gone up now. They were £1 in Hobbycraft. And they've been great. I've got 3 pairs that I use for different things. And they are great when you want a big pair of scissors. So, and that's just going to go down over here. Great, that's my card nearly finished. That's not taken as long as I thought it would. So let's just put a little bit of glue on here. And don't forget, if you're watching this video and you'd like to see any more of my projects, I tend to have a style. My style is very clean and simple and easy cards, quick and easy, clean and simple. So if you're looking for complicated advanced projects, I'm probably not the person you want to be watching, but if you want clean and simple, quick and easy projects, I'm your girl. Right, there we go, that's just about finished. All I'm going to do now is what I did on the other one, was stamped one of the deer inside. So I'm just going to come back with the little deer and the Sahara Sand stamp pad. I don't use Sahara Sand very much, I thought, but actually this stamp pad's getting a bit dry, so I'm going to have to get my re-inker out at some stage and re-ink it. I think there's still a problem with the re-inkers being imported into Europe, so if you're short of re-inkers, I'm afraid you can't order them at the minute until they've sorted out the customs issues with them. Something to do with liquids having to be labelled differently. I don't know. It's been a long time sorting out. Anyway, that's my card. So I don't know which. Yes, I do like the darker one best. I think like the second version, which is unusual for me. Usually I like the first one, and then I mess it up on the second. But that's my card today. Hope you've enjoyed seeing that little project made. Like I say, it was an entry for freshly made sketches. So this was a sketch, which was just a card with a panel and a circle. So I thought this fitted quite nicely. I just got it into the challenge in time before it closed. But if you want to pop over there, go to my blog below and there'll be a link through to freshly made sketches so you can have a look at all the other entries. Thank you so much for watching today. If you've not got a catalogue and you'd like one, just let me know. Or if you'd like any information about joining my team, becoming a Stampin' Up demo really is the most fun I've ever had. Do let me know and I'll have a little chat with you. I'm happy to have an informal chat, only if you're in the UK or any of our European countries. That's the only people that I can sign up, I'm afraid. Anyway, that's it from me. Have a lovely day. I hope you've enjoyed the project and I'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye.